Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are exploring a powerful roadmap for unlocking the supernatural in your daily life. We are breaking down the unchanging God. We'll start by anchoring ourselves in the foundation of immutability, the truth that God is consistently constant and provides a permanent foundation for your life. Because he cannot change, active faith corners him, leaving him no choice but to respond to you. Then, we'll dive into the 3 powerful shifts of the Bartimaeus Blueprint, learning to use spiritual discernment over physical sight, silencing the silencers when the crowd tells you to be quiet, and boldly discarding your old identity before your breakthrough even arrives. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the deep dive. I want to start today by just asking you to think about your week.
Okay.
How many things changed? I mean, the news, the stock market, your schedule, maybe your mood.
Everything. It feels like constant change.
It's like we're living on a tilt-a-whirl, right? Just this relentless motion.
Exhausting, honestly. The only constant seems to be that nothing is constant.
Exactly. And that's why today's topic, it feels like a relief, but also, a bit of a brain teaser.
I like a good brain teaser.
We're wrestling with this concept called immutability.
That's a big word.
It's a huge word. It sounds like something from a philosophy class. But what are we really talking about?
Well, the concept itself is pretty simple. Immutability just means the quality of being unchangeable, unalterable.
Okay.
And specifically, today we're talking about the immutability of God.
Uh-huh.
The idea that while everything else is in flux, there is a source that just absolutely never shifts.
Which sounds comforting. But we're not just going to talk about abstract theology.
No, we're grounding this.
We're looking at a sermon from Life International Church in Durban, South Africa, that takes this big idea of a God who never changes and crashes it right into a very messy, very human story.
Right. The story of blind Bartimaeus in Mark chapter 10. And the real tension here, the thing we need to unpack, is a paradox.
What's the paradox?
If God is immutable, this unstoppable, unchangeable force, what happens when a human being tries to stop him?
Can an unstoppable force be stopped? That's the hook for me. So let's set the scene. We're in Jericho. It's dusty. It's crowded.
And we meet our protagonist. But the way he's introduced is, well, it's odd.
How so?
The text says, blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus. Now you have to pause there. Timaeus is his father. This man has a lineage, a history. He's somebody's son.
But nobody calls him that, do they?
No, everyone just knows him as blind Bartimaeus. And this gets to a huge point about identity. Society kind of forces these adjectives onto us until they become nouns.
Give me an example of that.
Okay, so imagine a guy named Ricardo who's a bit overweight. People don't just say, there's Ricardo. They say, there's the fat Ricardo.
Oh, that's harsh.
It is. Or the poor one, or the divorced one. The adjective describes a condition, but society just glues it to your forehead until it becomes who you are.
Wow. So Bartimaeus isn't just a man who can't see. He's become the blind man. That's his whole definition.
Precisely. And here's where we have to challenge our assumptions. We assume he's begging because he's blind. It seems logical, right? He can't work, so he begs.
Yeah, cause and effect.
But is it? The insight from the sermon is that he isn't begging solely because of his disability. He's begging because he has accepted the identity of a beggar.
Whoa, hang on. Are we saying it's all in his head? The guy is literally blind. That's a physical reality.
It's absolutely a physical reality. But think about his location. He's sitting in the dust, outside the city, totally dependent. That's a posture of the soul, not just the body. He's internalized the label. He believes, I am broken, therefore I belong here in the dirt.
Okay, I get the distinction. It's the difference between I have a problem and I am the problem.
Yes. And we do this all the time. We let our disabilities, a lack of education, a past failure, define our entire map. We just sit by the road of life because we think, well, I'm just the anxious girl, or I'm the guy who messed up.
He's a landmark, turn left at the blind guy.
Right. An orphan to the system, despite having a father's name.
Right.
And he's just sitting there until he hears something.
A crowd. And someone tells him, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. Now, names are important in this story.
Immensely important. The crowd says, Jesus of Nazareth. That's just a geographical location. It's like saying, that guy from Delaware's here.
It's true, but it doesn't say anything about his power.
Exactly. But look at what Bartimaeus does. He can't see Jesus. He only has his hearing. But his mind starts connecting dots that the people with sight are missing.
What's he connecting?
He hears Nazareth, but he's thinking about the prophecies, the stories he's heard. And he realizes, wait a minute, if this is the guy opening blind eyes, this isn't just a man from Galilee, this is the Messiah.
So he rewrites the title.
He upgrades it. He yells out, Jesus, son of David.
Okay, for those of us not up on our biblical scholarship, why is Son of David such a big deal?
Jesus of Nazareth is a zip code. Son of David is a royal title. It's the messianic title. It's the difference between yelling, "Hey, Joe," and "Mr. President." It acknowledges authority.
Power. That is fascinating. So the blind man has 20/20 spiritual vision.
While the crowd, who can see perfectly, is spiritually blind. That's the irony. We see with our minds. Our eyes just lay in the light. Bartimaeus had this crystal clear picture of the king.
So he sees the king and he starts screaming his head off, "Have mercy on me!" Which brings us to my favorite part of this whole deep dive, the human species.
Ah, yes, the human species.
The sermon was pretty savage about this. It basically said followers of Jesus are terrible people, which, I mean, it made me laugh, but ouch.
It's a biting critique, isn't it? But look at the text. Bartimaeus is screaming for his life. And what does the crowd do? The people walking with Jesus.
They tell him to shut up. Be quiet.
Why? Why do they do that?
Because he's annoying. He's messing up the vibe. He's a nuisance.
It's the VIP section mentality. They feel important because they're close to the superstar. And here comes this dirty beggar making a scene. It's embarrassing.
The gatekeeping. We're the followers. You're the problem. But then Jesus stops, and the crowd's reaction gives me whiplash.
It's hilarious and tragic. The second Jesus shows interest, they do a complete 180. They go from "shut your mouth" to "be of good cheer." "Rise, he is calling you."
It is the fakest thing I have ever heard.
It's pure hypocrisy. They didn't have a change of heart. They just wanted to look good because the boss was looking.
And there was a detail about that word rise.
Yes. They command him, "Rise." But notice what they don't do? They don't help him up.
They don't offer a hand.
No. They just bark a command. It's religious rhetoric. Pull yourself up, be better. It's commanding action without offering any real assistance.
Wow. Okay, so that brings us back to the main theme, the immutability of God.
This is the anchor. God is immutable, unchanging. He's like a freight train moving through history. He's on his way to Jerusalem to die. He is in motion.
And Bartimaeus stops the train.
He stops the train. The scripture says Jesus stood still.
I love that. The unstoppable force hits the brakes.
It's so dramatic. In the Old Testament, God is usually the one pursuing people. He chases down Abraham, Moses. But here, a beggar chases down God and catches him.
So Jesus stops, and he asks, "What do you want me to do for you?"
But Bartimaeus isn't playing it safe. He gives the desperate, honest answer. "Rabboni, that I may receive my sight." He puts it all on the line.
And before that, he's chanting, "Have mercy on me." Why mercy, not justice?
That's a crucial distinction. Justice is getting what you deserve.
Which isn't always great for us, if we're honest.
Right. Mercy is not getting the punishment you deserve. He's not coming to God saying, "I deserve this." He's coming from total humility saying, "I know I'm a mess, but you are merciful."
And because God is immutable, because his nature is mercy, he can't ignore that.
He cannot. It resonates with his very core.
So we have the cry for mercy, the specific request. But there's a physical action right before this that's so easy to miss. The garment.
The garment.
Yeah.
Mark 10:50. And throwing aside his garment, he rose and came to Jesus.
Is that just a throwaway detail?
Oh, it's everything. You have to understand what that coat was. One theory is it was a veteran's coat, basically his only shelter.
His house, his blanket.
Right. The other theory is even more powerful. In those days, you needed a permit to beg, and the government would issue you a specific garment, a license.
So that coat was his livelihood, his business license.
It was his security, his identity. It was the thing that said, "I am a beggar and I have a right to be here."
And he throws it away before he's healed.
That's the key. He is still completely blind when that coat hits the dirt.
Man, that's terrifying.
It is. Think about the risk. If this doesn't work out, he's just thrown away his license to beg. He can't even find it again. He's blind.
He burned the ships.
He decided, "I am not going back to that corner." He surrendered his identity as the blind beggar before he could see. That is what faith is.
It's not just believing Jesus could do it. It's acting like he already had.
I'm betting my coat on it. That's faith. It's an action.
And the result is immediate. But the story doesn't end there.
No, the final detail is beautiful. It says he followed Jesus on the road.
He didn't go back to his corner.
He didn't. And think how tempting that would be. That corner was miserable, but it was familiar. He was the landlord of that misery.
We prefer the devil we know.
Exactly. But he didn't go back. He changed his entire direction to follow the source. And he's following Jesus in the middle of the same crowd that just told him to shut up.
That's a good point. He didn't let the human species get in the way.
He followed the Christ, not the Christians.
So let's bring this all home. What does this mean for someone listening right now?
I think it goes back to the garment. We all have one.
What does our garment look like?
It's whatever label or safety blanket defines your limitation. Maybe your garment is the victim. You've been hurt, and you wrap yourself in that. It becomes your identity.
Or the failure. I'm the one who always messes things up.
Right. And the question this story asks is, can you throw that garment aside before the problem is fixed? Can you stop identifying as the victim before you get the apology?
That is a tough ask.
It is. It requires stopping the immutable God in his tracks and saying, I am not going to be this anymore. Have mercy on me.
And knowing that because he's immutable, he's just as available to you now as he was to Bartimaeus then. He hasn't changed.
He doesn't have good days and bad days. He's constant. If he stopped then, he'll stop now.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on this week. We've been cheering for Bartimaeus, but if we look in the mirror...
Oof. Here it comes.
Are we Bartimaeus, or are we the crowd?
That is the uncomfortable question, isn't it?
Are we the desperate ones crying out, or are we the ones telling someone who's hurting to keep it down because they're messing up our nice, tidy life?
Because if we're the crowd, we're literally standing in the way of someone else's miracle. We have to check our hearts. Are we gatekeeping grace?
Something to think about. The immutable God is passing by. Don't let the crowd shut you up, and if you're in the crowd, get out of the way.
And don't be afraid to throw away the coat.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It was a pleasure to explore this.
Until next time, goodbye and have a great week.
As we wrap up today's episode, take a look at your journey and ask yourself, what old beggar's garment are you still holding on to? It's time to throw away the past and step into your future. Remember, faith works through love, and the unchanging God is standing ready to respond to your persistent cry. Don't let the voices around you silence your breakthrough. Keep your spiritual discernment sharp and walk out this week knowing your foundation is completely unshakable. Thank you for tuning in. If this message challenged and encouraged you today, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to activate their faith. Until next time, stay constant, silence the critics, and keep moving forward.